All right, what's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and Create Space. Link will be in the description box below as usual. Go get it. PayPal link there also. They asked me to put it up, so I put it up. Thank you, everybody, for supporting. But this video, though, this video is entitled Politics Are Hypocritical. People talk about politics, and it's a touchy subject because normally the parties and the groups are hypocrites, and you can't look at them with a you can't even look at the people who represent them with respect, because politics as a system, the way it's set up, is hypocritical. So you got Democratic Party, Republican Party, right? You've got conservatives and liberals, and they're all hypocrites to what they say they believe in. Now, it's hypocritical by name at the time for some. You know, when you're talking about democratic, you're talking about democracy, which means, you know, everybody gets a fair shake by law. That's what a democracy is, right? Everybody came to an agreement. These are the rules, and they are the same for everybody else. The Democratic Party doesn't fight for that. That's not their thing. You know, they do the opposite. They befriend people who are disadvantaged and try to play good cop, bad cop, and screw them over for their benefits that they were deemed under the law to have, like everybody else. But, you know, people don't talk about that, which is hypocritical. Republicans. Republic means the people, you know, they're for the people. Well, you know, Republicans, they'd be looked at as which people? The rich people, or you might look at them as, you know, they're not transparent, you know, so you really don't know. You're not representing the whole people because you're not transparent to all people. You're transparent to a select few. So you're really not about the people, you know, as an entirety. Liberalism, you know, if you liberal, you know, you're about, you know, everything that's a liberal, you know, you're open-minded. But the only problem is you're only open-minded with the things you represent or you want to be represented. That's everybody else needs to be open-minded about how you think and what you view as open, but you're closed-minded to the opposing view. So you're not really that liberal. Conservative. Conservatism is one of those things where you're saying you're conservative, but your actions and your politically actions are saying that you're just a big spender. You know, you want to ball out of control and make it rain government funds. Like, you don't want to give out welfare, but you want the government to give you welfare. And that doesn't really go to conserving anything, because this country is in deep deficit. So nothing was really conserved, and nobody has a plan to conserve anything. So that's another whole problem about this, right? So it's hypocritical. Now, getting deeper into this subject about why politics is hypocritical is, and I've talked about politics before, but one of the things about it is this. You can't explain your position to a child. Now, all of these, you know, intelligent individuals who are, you know, from far left to far right, have the hardest time in the world to explain their position to a child. Because what it basically says is you really don't know your position. Because, you know, people talk about identity politics, but politics is identity. You know, your political party has something to do with your identity. Your political affiliations have a personal connection with you. You get what I'm saying? Just like people say, don't talk about politics or religion. Why? Because it's personal for people. You need your privacy when you're voting because it's personal. You know, and this is part of the problem, because even in the process of voting, though it's personal and private, people can say one thing publicly and privately vote another. You get what I'm saying? So politics is built in to be a hypocrite. Because whatever you say in front of a crowd of people, you can go in a room and go, lie. That's the thing. You see, it's you know, so even the people representing certain stances, parties, or agendas, they may not really, all of them are really not representing it in reality. Some of them are just there, you know. Now, when you add on to this, and I talk about not being able to say things to a child, is this. You get somebody talks about politics and you get them to explain their position to somebody who maybe is middle of the road or on the complete other side of the aisle. They can't do it. They want everybody to get their position. I don't care if you far left or far right. You expect people to get your position and your logic without you stating it. And then you say people are intelligent enough to grasp your thinking and your logic when you never stated your thinking and your logic. Back to this identity politics, which makes it hypocritical because now it's saying it's not an intellectual thing. It's just about playing games, which is the problem because you control each other better politically than you can talk to each other. You know, politics is supposed to be the ultimate form of debate. That's what it's the ultimate form of debate. You have two opposing ideas that are put out to the masses and let the masses choose which is better. But instead of putting out ideas, you're just using identity politics to troll one another. So you really don't know what you're talking about. So there it is. Politics is hypocritical because there is no morals, ethics, or in it. You know, politics. Your position can be bought and sold. You get what I'm saying? So for people to think that somebody is really a true believer and really gonna fight for what they say they're fighting for, in this day and time, they're a complete utter liar. Well, not all, but most. Because when people put money on the table, guess what? You change your tune. It's not, and it has nothing to do with growth or evolution or, you know, maybe, you know, I've got to a new position in life and now I'm thinking a different way. No, it has everything to do with these people paid me a whole lot of money and they expect results. That's all it has to do with. That's it. So politics is hypocritical. Back to explaining it. You notice how, you know, you have people who can be on one side and then all of a sudden something happens and they go the complete opposite direction. That's because you weren't informed before you got in the first place. See, you know, you can have a person far left who goes far right who goes far left, because something happens that makes them change their opinion, whether it's personally, whether it's something they saw socially, whether, you know, a light bulb went off in their head that, wait, I was wrong. Well, normally you wouldn't have that aha moment if you knew what you got into in the first place. So here's the thing. It becomes more and more hypocritical because, you know, now you can be a hypocrite publicly and still represent what you know, how can I say that? You still can represent what you're hypocritical to. Makes no sense. So, you know, I can be a Republican and my actions could be the antithesis of a Republican. I could be a Democrat and my actions could be the antithesis of a Democrat. I can be a liberal and my actions can be the antithesis of being liberal. I can be a conservative and my actions are the antithesis of being conservative. But as long as I say I'm one, that's all that matters. This is why. So, and it's gone so far that you can't even pay attention to, the flaws in your own party or group's ideology. I mean, let's just be honest. Our sitting president ran as a Republican. He's been a Democrat for years. I'm just saying. You remember Joe Lieberman? Remember that? He lost as a Democrat and became an independent so he could win. It's just a game. Politics has no honor. So the whole thing is hypocritical. And, people have agendas. Like, I forgot to say that. People agendas change when their money changes. See, you can be a Democrat when you're poor and you want to be getting money and getting rich, and you become a Republican because of the tax breaks. You could be young and be in one party, and then grow up because you've been taught to be in this particular party. Grow up and have a mind of your own and choose the opposite because you feel like it's more conducive to how you think. You can, how can I say this? You can be conservative and then something happens to your life and it makes you more liberal, or when it affects you, just like the drug laws. See, everybody was so hardline on the drug laws because it was locking up people like me. But now it's locking up people that's not like me. Now they're so liberal. These are the same people, though. It's hypocritical, right? So now everything is okay. And it changes because when it personally affects you. Same thing even with John McCain. All of a sudden, when he had to have racial experiences or racialized experiences to have a change of heart on some of the stances he made. But he was he was elderly by that time. Like Strom Thurmond and George Wallace type stuff. Like, that's politics in America. It's just hypocritical. We out.